gonna get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat! Tell me where you are, John!
Wolfman's got Nards!
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Now this is going to be a spoiler free review, so if you haven't seen the movie, it's okay. You can watch this review. If you have seen the movie, then obviously you can leave your comments at the end of it. So there's going to be no spoilers in this video. Now the basic premise is there's these Santa Claus robots that are around these specific stores around wherever they are in the US, and they've went defunct, so they've been recalled, but they haven't been recalled straight away. They're getting recalled on the Friday. I'm sure that's what they say. So they're waiting for these robots to be taken back, to be destroyed or whatever. But in the meantime, we're focused on one of these robots that manages to come alive and start killing everyone around this little town. The film was directed by Joe Begos, and this is the first film that I've seen of his. I know he's done a few horror movies in the past, one of them being VFW, but I've just never saw any of his movies before, so this was the very first one. So I didn't know his style of horror, I didn't know his style of directing, so I didn't know what I was getting myself in for. I like that he includes subtle nods to older 80s classic, sometimes cheesy horror movies. Like we see a poster of Spookies from 1986 in the background of one of the scenes, or two of the scenes. They talk about Black Christmas from 1974. They talk about the Blair Witch Project. They talk about other kind of horror films that maybe people have forgotten about, that obviously he respects for the horror genre. If we look at the structure of the film, I think this is one of the most important parts of this film and one of the key aspects and why I do like it so much. The first 40 minutes or so is just a build-up of characters where we've got these main characters, Tori and Robbie, just going about their everyday life. They're just living in this little quiet, sleepy town, and they're talking like you and I. They're just having a normal conversation, almost as if there's no camera on them, almost as if they don't have a script. They're that natural in the roles that they're playing. But it's only till maybe the halfway point of the movie where the movie flips on its head, because it's no longer this just chatting away, which I do enjoy. It's no longer that, it's just from the 45-minute mark onwards, it's absolute mayhem. After we follow Tori and Robbie's journey in the shop that they both work in, having a little drink at the bar together and then going back to Tori's house, that's when it shifts in tone, and the whole movie itself is really good in terms of how they build it up, but we are relaxed like them, even though that we know something's about to happen and we can see it in the background what's happening, but we're relaxed with them because we're almost having a good time with them and forgetting that something in the background is coming for them. And that's when you get a shock, because you forget what's about to come, and then when it does come, my god, Santa Claus, or the robot Santa, is amazing in this, because the death scenes in it are crazy. The practical effects is top notch. As this is a non-spoiler review, I won't say who, but there's certain characters in the film, there's quite a few of them in fact, that you start to lean towards because you feel for them, you can understand what kind of person that they are. And Joe Begos decides to kill these people off, and you're like, oh, I was just starting to feel for that person, I was getting behind that person, and then they're killed off. So after this person's killed off, you go, okay, there's this other person that's been introduced that I'm starting to like, I'm starting to get behind, but nope, they just get killed off as well. So there's characters in it that you start to feel for, which is good. It's a good development for these characters that you as the audience can go, right, I'm rooting for this person, I want this person to be the last person alive, and it turns out they're not. So there's a few times that I went through that in this film thinking, okay, I'll get behind this person, I'll get behind that person. And that's testament to the director, and it's testament to the writing for the film, because the characters are written so well that we kind of latch on to quite a lot of them. You know, you get these horror films where you think it's the end of the movie, and then it drags on and drags on and drags on to the point where you're thinking, okay, enough is enough, I don't really like what I'm seeing right now. Well, in this one, we do get an ending for the film, and then it drags on again, but not in a bad way. Every time you think it's ended, it picks up again. And even though it picks up again, it gets better and better and better, to the point where you're watching this going, I don't want this to end. This is unbelievable. I was expecting something that was going to be mediocre to good, but by the end of the film, I was completely blown away. The only way I can explain this film is it's like a cross between The Guest and Terminator. You can obviously guess why it's like the Terminator, because there's this robot, unstoppable robot trying to kill people. But on the other hand, it's like The Guest in the way that it's shot, the style and the look, and even the soundtrack and the score for Christmas Bloody Christmas is very reminiscent of The Guest. I've seen a lot of badass female characters in 2022 with the likes of Sienna from Terminator 2 and the girl from Prey. But when you watch this one with Tori was unbelievable. Tori was like the ultimate horror version of Sarah Connor. She was relentless all the way through it, because not only was she a badass, but she was normal. When nothing was happening, when she was having a good time, she knew how to have a good time. She didn't take things too seriously. She liked to have a laugh and a joke and a drink with her friends, and just didn't take life too seriously at all. But when shit hit the fan, she got amazing. It's hard to explain how great Tori was. If I'm going to do, I think I'm going to probably do this because of this video, because of this movie, but maybe later on down the line I'll maybe do badass females from 2022 in horror movies or something. I don't know, because I think Tori needs more recognition than I'm giving her right now. When you look at the robot itself, I think there's something really scary about seeing the robot in the distance. Numerous times throughout the film you see this robot in the background, blurred out, coming towards the camera. That's very terrifying, that's menacing. And also the way that they done the silhouettes and the shadows for the robot, where he's walking past the window or just walking past the car, and you see the silhouette of Santa Claus and you see the axe as well. That's, again, it's very scary. The look and the feel of the film was great in terms of a horror Christmas movie. The overuse of the lighting was fantastic. Although it was overused, it was intentional, because you wanted that Christmas feel, and this really did feel like an ultimate horror Christmas movie. You had the fake snow as well. I noticed that the snow was coming from one angle and there was no snow in the background, etc. Obviously that's understandable, but it was great just seeing that snow, the Christmas lights, the Santa Claus that's coming to kill you. Everything just felt so Christmassy. Even though it was a horror movie, it felt so Christmassy as well. It made me look forward to Christmas Day. I say this a lot about most films, to be honest, that turn out to be good, that it was the most surprising film of the year. But truly, guys, I'm not over exaggerating this time, Christmas Bloody Christmas is the most surprising film of the year for me. Not just in terms of horror, but any type of genre in 2022. I was expecting a decent film. It looked really good, it looked fun, but I wasn't expecting too much from it. But when I watched the film, I immediately thought, maybe even halfway through the movie, I'm loving this, and it just got better and better and better. So this was probably the most surprising film of 2022. So if you've seen this movie, guys, what do you think of it? Leave your comments down below. If you haven't seen it yet, don't read the comments obviously. Go and watch it on Shudder. It's available on Shudder just now, guys. Go and support Shudder as well, because I know that they've got a bit of a problem at the moment. Support them if you can. Subscribe, watch Christmas Bloody Christmas, enjoy it, and come back and talk about it. And as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.